The time has come for 5 red lights. Three wide through turn 3. Oh, into the wall!
I knew this would happen. I knew they wanted to try something.
Yamar have gotten their wish. A 1-2 for the team. Another victory for VNT to put the cherry on top of their dominance. Good evening, good morning to Ollie. Good evening, everyone. I hope you're well. We are here for Reverse Silverstone this week for round 7 of competitive speed series, and we are in, I'm sure, for a treat. Let's go straight to the standings page because it is looking really quite tasty at the top of the standings. Ventari dropped away a little bit, but OMB and FRT really hot on the heels of Shizou, Ollie. And I know we spoke pre-race about this one, but it doesn't. Wow, it's good because it means that Shizou aren't getting their own way.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, like I said, we spoke in the intro about how close the gaps are now. You know, there's 38 points splitting first to third, which is, you know, from a competitor point of view and from a viewer point of view, is great to see 3 teams up there and be sort of clawed their way back the last couple of weeks with a couple of podiums, and it's sort of shown now with looking at the standings. So yeah, great to see that this battle heating up as we get nearer the halfway point in the season.
And it's not the only battle going on. I see IRT's incredible victory last time has really put them in firm favourites for 5th there. But look how close it is from 5th down to, well, last. It's less than 50 points, which I think in previous seasons here in CSS, we've always had 1 or 2 languishing down the back. And this has just made things, well, really interesting for the top 5. Well, for the bottom 6, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, we've always said how competitive this league is from top to bottom, points on the 15th, and, you know, every point counts. And it's, like I said, we always had that one team that was a bit off the pace, didn't we? But luckily this season it's not the case. We've had, you know, AMS have had, unfortunately, one driver have a couple of DNS, but other than that, they have consistently got points, which is great to see. And like I said, there are various different battles going across the standings, and various different inter battles in the whole table, couldn't you really? But it's like I said, crucially, it's competitive, and that's what we love to see.
Let's head trackside then, because qualifying is just about to start. Well, I say just about to start. It has started, and we're on board with Silo, who's, well, coming towards Stowe. Gonna get this all wrong, I'm sure, at some point in commentary, but it's gonna make it very interesting. The lines that you take through Maggots, Beckett's and everything is going to be completely different from obviously the normal way, but it'll be interesting to see how the drivers, well, are able to maintain that pace through here when your brain is so fixated on the track being the other way round.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what I'm on board with Silo at the moment. It's really quite confusing seeing the track backwards here as he comes through left field and into Brooklands, which saying it the other way around is tricking my brain at the moment. But he's just went down went straight towards what would be the last sector now, Gareth. I don't know how we split the sectors now with this with the opposite track. I guess it's still the same, but comes through the final couple of corners here to finish off his lap. He should be the first man to set a lap time here in the pink Racing Bull as he crosses the line, and a 1:24.8. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's a good time or not, with it being a backward circuit.
Yeah, it's a very odd decision to decide whether it is or not. And both RBs getting out of the way as best they can, heading towards uh, Club and Vale. And a 24.8, 24.9. Callum with a 25.3. Maybe showcasing that Shizou are going to be the team to beat on this one. FRT Justin then heading down towards, goodness me, Woodcote, Luffield, and Brooklands in that order. Um, Currently, it just seems like the back end's stepping out a little bit currently right now. Um, We'll have to wait and see how it will all go for Justin. Chat, let us know if you think anyone's going to be able to beat Silo's time here. Monzo with a 124.946, agonisingly close to breaking off Tech through there. And Fana Spinoda up into third again, exactly the same time as Tech Brutal. So maybe some of these drivers aren't going to give over so easily in comparison to Silo and Tech right now. Gabs are then coming into the final few corners through Aintree, the Loop and Village Farm. It looks like a little bit off the pace for them at the moment. They're probably a mid 25, or 25-2, not too bad for Gabsa to start things off with. Their teammate coming through the final few throws now. And I think at the end of commentary, we may be able to get used to the track being this way around as Giovanni. Look how close some of these times are. This is a good lap from Giovanni up into fourth, but that's very, very close between, well, the top, second to all the way down to sixth right now.
Yeah, it's all in the 0.9s, aren't they? 4.9s. It's incredibly close. Like I said, Fana Spinoda and Tech Brutal getting the same lap time, which we don't normally see. So I'd love to see both the on boards, see where if they are slightly different on certain parts of the circuit. But yeah, it's pretty close so far, which is great to see. And age or a competitive race this evening, Gareth. So, and everyone, if you look at from top to bottom, take out Ben in 16th. It's less than a second split in the whole table. So it shows how competitive and how quick these guys are feeling this evening.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to hunt for. And strategy, I'm assuming it's going to be the normal strategy for this one. However, it might, I don't know, it might not. We might see something different. Tyre wear might be slightly different. Yeah.
But Gareth, it is still Silverstone, so it still likely will rain. So reverse or normal, that doesn't change things.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's raining at the moment, but it could happen. As you say, Silverstone, anything is well and truly possible through all this. And as we watch now, RW06 official who had a pretty decent race last time out, until it didn't. I think for them, a little bit of argy-bargy through it all. But they're coming down. I can't believe I'm saying the hanger straight this early in a lap. To start their lap, coming through Maggots and Beckett's, or Chapel Beckett's Maggots. I think that's the best way to say those as we go past those really very swanky apartments, which I have stayed in one of those, by the way, in real life. Which is
very nice.
Yeah, very, very nice indeed. Very expensive and probably won't ever happen again. Into Luffield then for RW06 official as well. It's looking like a relatively decent time right now.
Yeah, so far, well, purple in the what is now middle sector, which again, how much truth is in that with this game, we'll have to wait and see. But looking pretty racy, RW6 coming through Village for the final time. Farm and Abbey to go. And yeah, just about hits a curve on the left side, crosses the line at 7th for him there, 125.008. So puts him into the top 10 with that lap time. His teammate a little bit further ahead in Monza, 124.946. So not much splitting both the Mercedes drivers here so far, but everyone seems to have done a lap other than Kevin down in 18th. Like Gareth said, well, maybe not much to get. OMB quali ban for last week's an incident last week, from my understanding.
Yeah, not good for OMB starting towards the back, and obviously in their championship fight with Shizou, really going to affect them big time. VNT drivers, Fana Spinoda and Lars really need to pull it out the bag for them to get themselves back into it. But at the moment, it is Silo and Tech leading the way with 8.5 minutes of the session remaining. Kevin Zuderberg then coming through Chapel Beckett's and Maggots. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, saying it that way around. But into Cops they go. I wonder if, a little bit of a slide there for Kevin through Cops. I wonder how much as Silo picks up a 5-second penalty. I'm assuming from that means there will be a restart through quali, because that's the second driver to pick up a 5-second penalty this evening, as Kevin Zuderberg a little bit sketchy at the moment for their lap, but they may, well, we've seen time and time again in competitive speed series that we need a the drivers need a banker lap, or otherwise things can get a bit hairy for them.
Yeah, and then with Brass the exit of Village isn't going to help his lap time, but cross line up in the 15th, so getting on the board, which is, like I say, crucial. Getting that first lap, getting that builder, where you can have that base, can't you, to improve on. Go back to the pits and you can see your second time. So yeah, Kevin, I'm sure, just get a lap in, you'll be happy with that. Just a bit further up the road, as Mons flies in for our RSC with a 124.7, Gareth, about 2/3 of a tenth quicker than Silo. So the gauntlet's been set by the RSC team.
Yeah, Monza laying it down, as Tech having a mistake there. A bit of a back end wobble through Aintree, and that's not going to help them as they come through Village and towards Farm now and into Abbey. What can Tech Brutal do? It's enough to displace a teammate for the time being. Silo then across the line was quicker and is going to take pole position. It's a 24.5 to start things off with, and wow, I think that even may have been quicker than PC side of things, which is incredible to see. Justin up into third place. In 11th is Callum, who's struggling for the time being. Luca coming through slightly down on their previous attempt on a lap. I wonder if Ben is going to be able to produce anything quicker. I think they've just finished their lap time. Maybe Ryan. Is Ryan going into the pits as well? This is a subdued middle part of qualifying. I don't think anyone else is going to be setting laps. I think they're all coming in and finishing off, just finishing their sessions. But I don't know if anyone's going to be able to beat Silo's time. That looks ridiculous right now.
Yeah, that is. It's 2/10 quicker than Monza, and we thought Monza's lap was good. So, yeah, that is a scorcher of a lap time. I mean, we've still got. I've got a yellow flag, so I can't see how long we've left in the session. But I'm sure there's enough time for one more here in quali, Gareth. You know, usually they get 2 or 3 laps in, so hoping that they open the pits now. So I'm assuming we one flying lap out on circuit, and we'll see if anyone can touch Silo's time there. I mean, Silo could even improve it with the pace he's on this season in that RB car, Gareth. It's another phenomenal time. You know, no wonder, they're leading the standings. With 4 wins out of 6.
Yeah, Silo's, I want to say, pretty impenetrable, really, with the times that they're able to get in one lap, as Giovanni did go slightly quicker on their lap time to displace Adrian in P6. Tech Brutal, though, from what was a very, very strong position for Shizou seeded, they are now first and fifth instead of first and second. Fana Spinoda managing to get that VNT up into second place as well. So VNT on a little bit of a resurgence, which is good for VNT fans.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, VNT have had a bit of a nightmare couple of weeks. Started off really well. Opening race, they were on second and third, next to Shazoo. But then after, round 3 to round 6, it's been pretty poor. No points in round 6 as well. Dropped them down, and there's quite a gap. Well, I say 53 points, but in themselves, no one B, and OMB have taken that the place for now of VNT as the third best team. But we'll see. We'll see how they get on today. And like I said, getting Fannisburn up early doors, it'll be a great boost for the team. Lars, bit of work needs to be done. Still 25-4 for him. But again, there's only a second off Silo. But then in F1 terms, guys, that is massive a second, isn't it? So a bit of work still to do for the second VNT driver.
3 minutes of the session remaining, and cars are trickling out of the pit lane and getting themselves ready to go to start what I'm going to be certain is a flurry of times getting quicker and quicker. Let us know in the chat if you think Silo is going to be able to beat the lap time they've already put on the table, a 24.558. Is that beatable? With the track evolution and everything putting it in, I think Silo could break into the 24.4s. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. It's going to be Justin that sets us off, starts us off on this one for the final runs, Ollie. Do you think Silo can be beaten, or can he beat his own time?
The question we have almost every week these days, Gareth, with Silo's pace. Um, can he beat his own time? The thing is, when we've seen him in the past, when he's going quicker, and then he realizes that, oh well, there's no one going to be quicker, so I'll pull out. So that has happened in the past. So we may not see it from him. He may not want to push his car that far. Ultimately, he may already have the pole. We'll have to wait and see. But already, just shy 2 tenths quicker than Fannis Minodo in second, and obviously Monzo in third. I'd love to see him get into the fours, but I don't see it happening. I think that might be just a bit too far. But I'd love to be proven wrong.
Yeah, let's see what will happen for Silo. Let's go on board. Justin's bailed out of their lap. They probably doing another installation lap. And here comes then Kevin Zuderberg as a retirement from Gabza. That's not ideal. It's in the pit lane, so it's fine. Is it Kevin Zuderberg then coming through the old start-finish straight and up into Luffield and Brooklands? Let's see what they can do to finish off this qualifying for them.
I think Gareth, he's pulled over because he was second down on that. Yeah, second 2 times. So Kevin Zunderberg is just waiting for his tyres to heat up, I think.
Both of the Alpine cars, or both of them, are deciding that they want another installation lap on those tyres. We'll wait and see how it works for them. Here's our RW06 official then across the line and throws themselves into 5th place. Is Silo on a lap time? Slightly slower than their previous lap. So I'm not sure. They've got a lot of time to make up if they want to beat their time. Here through the final sector is Silo. Farm and Abbey to go. No, into the pit. Silo will not be going quicker this time around. What can Tech Brutal do then in this final sector? Currently P6, was running second in the first stints of qualifying. Let's see if they can do any better this time around.
Last little corner for Tech Brutal. He comes across the line. It is an improvement by 0.031 up into 4th. Monza crosses the line. He's up in the second, but still in the 0.7s. Fannis Minodo is looking quicker, Gareth. He was almost 2 tenths quicker in the first sector. He's a little bit further down now, but still coming through the last sector. The man to keep an eye on. Has he got enough to beat Silo? I don't think so, but he could take second back off Monza.
It's looking like second place for Fana Spinoda with that sector time set in for sector 2. As long as Fana Spinoda keeps it going, let's see how it will all work out for them. A car in front, I think it's their teammate Lars, unable to go quicker. It is second place for Fana Spinoda by the slightest of margins. Surely, no, that is slower for Justin on this occasion as well in 13th. Is Karim. Karim retires from the... Oh, I say retires, going into the pits. Might as well be retires. So, Silo. And it is confirmed that Silo beat the PC time from last night. So, it just shows how quick Silo is. And obviously, this reverse track is... Not many people would be doing it. So, they've zoned in on this track perfectly. It just shows, I suppose, the quality of the driver Silo is.
Oh, 100%. You know, he's obviously had time to get some practice in this week before quali and obviously the race later on, and yeah, nailed it perfectly. You know, just just shy of 2 tenths quicker than the second man, Fana Spinoda. You know, Monza's not far back, but he's quite a lot already, and if Silo can get a good start to this Grand Prix, Gareth, he could run away with it. You know, we did see a few races ago, I think it was Spain, where the team ran away with it. It was only because of the safety car that got pulled back in, so we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out shortly.
Definitely will do. It's Silo from Fana Spinoda on the front row of the grid. Then you've got Monza, Tech, Justin, Sieb, RW6 Official, Giovanni, Ryan, Matteo Manga, Adrian, Luca, Karim, Gabza, Callum, Lars Kramer, Kevin Zinneberg, and Ben, all, and then Ortiz and Schumacher, who served the qualifying bans. So we will be having a lobby restart just because of all the issues that we had. That we had with drivers getting 5-second penalties. It's been a while since we've had those, and I see a little bit of an arm movement there, Ollie. What's?
Oh, just looking. I know it's obviously the lobby's been reset, but it's very, very overcast. It's still sort of classic Silverstone. I know it would have been quite fun to see how they would have negotiated that, but unfortunately, we're having the lobby reset, so we won't be seeing that side.
Unfortunately not. We won't be. It is a shame. Just a request to turn you up a little bit. Hopefully that is enough. Let's head...
Because I'm in Australia, Gareth, it's something to do with the connection.
You just have to shout a little bit louder.
Yeah. Hello.
Let's go back to the standings then, and Shazoo, obviously with Silo's lap time there, should produce a good race for them. I wonder if they can do it consistently, because it's a reverse track. Can it be done consistently instead of only one lap? We saw a few mistakes from drivers doing... I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Maybe not as consistent as we would have expected from the caliber of drivers that they are.
Gareth, you've got to think about it. You know, Silverstone is almost ingrained in these drivers. It's a favourite for a lot of people. It's a classic circuit. It's been on the game for I don't know how long. Well, it's been on the calendar since 1948 as a circuit in various different forms. So everyone sort of knows it. Most drivers know it off the back of their hand. It's not like a Vegas or a Baku, which is new. They're used to it, and then you go, okay, we'll just switch it to go backwards. Then they're not used to that. So I think that's why we're seeing some inconsistencies. Yes, they've had a week to practice, but people got work or school or whatever they're doing. They haven't got time to do it. So I think that's where we're seeing some mistakes, and we could see quite a few mistakes come race time, because they probably have another chance to simulate a full race in, because they who does this race backwards. I've probably the first time I've ever done it backwards, so it could cause a few mistakes come race time. But hopefully, they all get through. But I think that's where maybe we've seen some inconsistencies in the race, in quali at least.
We'll have to wait and see if these guys can handle the pressure. While we wait for the lobby to be reset, let's just have a little word from our sponsors, and we will be back very, very shortly.
Series.
The time has come for 5 red lights. Three wide through turn 3. Oh, into the wall!
I knew this would happen. I knew they wanted to try something.
Hey, Yamar have gotten their wish. A 1-2 for the team. Another victory for VNT to put the cherry on top of their dominance.
And welcome back, everybody. There we have. I'll tell you what. Let's go to the standings, because we've spoken loads about Shazoo and FRT and OMB, but IRT, they had a great race last time up. Sieb taking the victory. They've got a chance tonight because Sieb's quite high up again to cement a fight for that P5, obviously where they are at the moment, but also, if Ventauri again have another shocking race, they can put the pressure on Ventauri as well.
Yeah, you say that, but Fana Spinoza is up in second, isn't he? So I appreciate Lars is all the way down well, he's near the bottom, wasn't he? But yeah, if IRT can, after the win last week in Shawgarth, that they're right. I'm sure the confidence is flowing through the team. I don't know where Luca finished in quali, but absolutely, what's the gap to VNT? Is that 44 points? So absolutely doable. I mean, they'd have to have another good race. I'd love to see battling in the tight, all the way through the field, but with how VNT did tonight, I think maybe not this race, maybe the week after. But you just don't know, Gareth. You just don't know with these races. It can all be flipped on its head in a moment.
Yeah, it's all a bit over the place, I guess. But look at Tatum in 6th place, separated to AMS in 10th by 16 points. All it takes is one good result for any of those 5 teams, and it can all swing back on itself. And with a track, with Silverstone in the right direction, anything is possible. But in the other, we could see something a little bit special. So let's go and have a look at what we've got coming up for the remainder of the season. Obviously, Silverstone is tonight. Then you've got Qatar, Singapore, China, Belgium, Mexico, Texas, Monza, and then finishing the season at Vegas. Way in the future. So we've got plenty of time for us to get there and going. Just trying to think what's a good way for us to segue through this, because obviously we know how quick Silo is on 1 lap pace. We know how quick they are on race pace. Is it anyone? Can anyone match them today with what we saw in qualifying?
That's the thing, isn't it? It's a tricky one. If Silo gets away, as we've seen he's done in the past, I don't see anyone beating him. If someone can get him early, 100%, there's a fight for the win there. But safety cars are known here, weather as well. Things can change, but ultimately, if you want to get Saudi, you've got to get him at the start. Otherwise, he will run away with this, Gareth.
I'm just looking again. It's overcast in Silverstone right now, so we could have maybe a small smidgen of threat of rain here, just to add to the mix as well. So anything is possible as we wait for lights out here in Silverstone, and it's always a tough one, and we've been told it's just overcast all full race. That's a shame. I'd love to have a little bit of jeopardy with rain hitting at Silverstone, because usually it adds to the flavour.
Yeah. I mean, we'll still have a good race regardless, won't we? Silverstone. Silverstone backwards. Who knows what's going to happen in this race, Gareth? I'd love to see a bit of rain, but you can see a bit of blue sky. Well, my screen, you can see a bit of blue sky in the top right corner. So obviously the rain has drifted away, but yeah, it'll be a good race regardless. It's CSS, Gareth. We know it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, no. If there was no restart, there would have been rain at the end. Oh God, why tell me? Well, yeah, there we go. Cheers for the info, though, Swifty. Appreciated it through it all. Hopefully, we will be getting underway very, very shortly. I believe lights out was being told for 35 past, or 25 to, which is a minute away. So hopefully, we're going to get some racing action underway. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to take victory tonight, whether it is going to be Silo or another driver. Ollie, I'm going to pose that question to you. I know we've spoken about it, but who's going to take victory tonight?
Apologies, there's some very loud parrots outside. Not something I normally say. It's got to be Silo, isn't it? I'd hate to be boring. I have nothing against Silo. I'd love to see someone else win, but with a pace on Gareth, it's difficult not to predict Silo on his current trajectory.
Yeah, it will be very, very easy or difficult not to say Silo, to be honest. I'm going to go off piste, and I'm going to say Giovanni, the VMV driver, to take victory tonight. I believe they're starting in 6th place on the grid. I think there's going to be some carnage and chaos here tonight, which will allow for something to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Silverstone, there are some choke points, aren't there, at certain corners. I think we need to do that here tonight.
Well, we're on 5 red lights here as we get going finally for Silverstone reverse. Silo has the lead into turn 1, and Monza trying to find a way through around the outside of Justin. Justin is Tech trying to keep a position, but I think they're going to lose a place as Sieb is getting involved. Giovanni down to 7th place all this, so there's a little bit of carnage behind as drivers try and navigate through Stowe and down the hanger straight for the first time, and there is 2 cars side by side. I believe it's the Ferraris of Ryan and Adrian maybe falling behind Matteo Manga in all this as they head towards Chapel, Begets and Maggots for the first time this evening in race trim, as Ryan trying to find a way through RW06 official, but on this occasion nothing happening, and it's all a little bit safe at the moment. Nothing major going on.
Yeah, I was going to say civilized, Gareth. We haven't seen too much argy-bargy. A couple of moves, 1 place there, 2 place here, but not too much, which was great to see. And the top 3 staying where they are, so 14, 15, 16 still staying where they are. The game is giving me a 3-stop strategy. I don't think that's right on my screen, but through the guys go through Adrian and the loop before ending their lap there, but trying to figure out, guys, where they can overtake, because it's obviously backwards. It's all trying to figure that out in my head. But through to finish off the first lap we go. Obviously fast lap from Silo, and already half a second ahead of Fan Espinosa, but he's got to make sure he stays within that DRS zone, otherwise Silo will get involved with Monza and the rest of the drivers behind. But so far so good, Gareth, from our race leader.
both OMB drivers are up 2 places. Giovanni up 2 as well, now into 6th place from where they started, a few dropping. Kevin Zunenberg and Ben being the 2 biggest losers on this occasion. Everyone really seeming, well, all but one driver on a set of mediums, with Kevin deciding to go the ultimate strategy on the hards. Fanny Spinoda trying now, I think, to find a weak spot in the armour of Silo as they head through the old start-finish straight and towards Woodcote, Luffield and Brooklands for lap 2 of 26. And, well, at the moment, Silo's got it all covered, but Fanny Spinoda not lying down on this one.
No, he looks like he's quicker in the first sector, especially through Chapel, Beckett, and Maggot. He's almost down to 2/10 there, unless it was mistakes from Silos. A bit of a lock-up from, obviously, through the loop and round village they go. But it's definitely he's not sitting down just yet, Fanny Spinoda. He's not being warded off by our race leader. I go fast lap from Fanny Spinoda, and the gaps come down again. It's now 3/10 across the line. Be interested to see whether he likes to move on the DS straight here, Gareth, down towards Chapel, Beckett and Maggots here. So keep an eye on them on our second placement.
Yeah, Fanny Spinoda, definitely the driver to watch. Monza just waiting in the wings, but I don't think has the pace to really attack on this occasion. I think it's just going to be Fanny Spinoda and Silo. I'm not sure how the DRS zones really work either, the wrong way round. I know it showcases on the map, but it makes it a bit odd, and definitely down the old pit straight. It's a very odd to have a curve in a DRS zone area, but at the moment, well, there was a little mistake there through Luffield from Silo, and that could just allow Fanny Spinoda just that extra bit of confidence. If they can see the driver ahead having some problems, they may be able to think, well, actually, if they're having problems there, I know where to get close.
Absolutely, yeah, he's got to capitalise on the areas that Silo's weakest at and try and jump on that and get past our race lead. But it will be difficult. Just thinking, Gareth, when it's the normal way around, obviously you're going quick down the old straight, you then fly through Cop still at high speed, and you're still taking a lot of pace through Magus, Beckett and Chapel. But when it's the other way around, Stowe is quite a slow pony when you're doing it in reverse. I think that's where the DRS isn't as effective in this reverse way. Fanny Spinoda would have to get really close to Silo to try and make the move done. He does catch really quickly, but then by the time he gets the corner entry at Chapel, he's not close enough to make a move there. So it's he's going to have to try and get close to him at the end of the lap to then close him in through Club, through Vale, and then get on the back of him through Stowe then, and then make that move. But we'll see if he can figure that out as the lap goes. I think that's why we've seen maybe limited overtaking, because this reverse lap is trickier than the normal setup.
It certainly is. There's not really much. I was going to say not really much happening, as OMB are having a little bit of a battle. OMB Autos getting past Lars Kramer, and the VNT driver dropping their position, which isn't ideal. And just ahead, Karim getting past Gabza as well. So some action happening on track. It's not just the leaders we're going to be watching through this one, as OMB Autos needs to find a little bit of pace. As I say that, just click back in a second, Mark, to ensure they don't lose too much ground. It seems for OMB especially, it's a little bit of a waiting game. They just have to pick the targets when they can, and then hope at the pit stop phases that they can grab a few more.
Yeah, I think that's the best way of doing it, Gareth. Or try and obviously hope they get a safety car, but can't rely on that this evening. They've got to run their own race and try and get through these drivers. And yeah, they are working their way. Yeah, like I said, they are a few places up, but again, Autos got a bit of a gap now. Still within DRS, which is fine, but needs to try and claw his way back towards Callum and go up ahead to try and work his way up into obviously 15th, where the points start in this league. So we'll see how he goes round. It's up now. It goes in the grass there. It's not going to help those medium compound tyres this evening. But yeah, they'll see if we can close that gap down to Callum up ahead. Silo still holding the lead here. I think there's a little bit of mistake there, some dirt on his tyres. So Fana Spinoza trying to close the gap now. I think it's the closest been for a while through this part of the circuit. But again, like I've mentioned, it seems very difficult to overtake another. I don't know whether it's my screen, Gareth, or maybe it's the game, but it keeps locking up the front right coming through the entry of the loop. So I don't know, that's not helping his tyre wear.
Maybe not. I do know sometimes with the lockups, it's not. It's just an effect. It's not actually locking up the tyres, but it's more like I guess brake dust. But sometimes it is, and as well, it's not. It's not an exact science in the game, the F1 games. But here is Fana Spinoza again trying any which way to get at Silo, but Silo manages to get a good run out of Stowe towards Chapel. And I don't think Fana Spinoza has anything. I think that's going to be the main overtaking opportunity for Fana Spinoza, is heading towards Chapel, Beckett's and Maggots. But I think Silo most of the time has it all covered as they head towards Copse and then down the Hamilton Straight. The old start-finish straight here is Silverstone and towards now Woodcut and Luffield. Let's see what they can produce on this occasion, but I don't think really too much is happening for these guys. There is a little bit of a break in the chain with RW06 official close to being outside of the DRS of Sieb, which could open the door some more racing a bit lower down. Big lock up with the right there again, which I think you mentioned for Fana Spinoza in that same point, so it could be that they are locking up the tyres.
Could well be, yeah. Unfortunately, it's like I said, it's not an accurate science whether it is happening or not. But yeah, I think if we get a break in the DRS chain, it could be that's where the catalyst we see to see a bit some more overtakes. But when we say that those Silo hasn't got any DRS and he's staying ahead, but maybe that's because it was set up at the moment. But it's on board with Sieb at the moment. He was pretty close to the back of Giovanni earlier, but not close enough to make any moves yet. Monza sitting in third in the zone. Gap to Fana Spinoza 7/10 at the moment. Justin not close enough either. So yeah, gaps. They're not very big gaps, Gareth, but obviously enough to not allow any. I think Sieb is maybe one of the closest drivers to make a move. I say that though, he puts a wheel on the grass. Commentator's curse strikes again, and that allows RW06 to close that gap down again. You'd argue, Gav, we may see some Woodcut and Luffield. A lot of time to get some power down coming out of Copse and using the DRS as well. So if drivers can get close to Copse, it could be another opportunity for the drivers. But again, Gav, this is still new to them. They still get used to the circuit. And there could be that as they go on now, they'll get more used to and then be able to make some overtakes as we progress through this race.
Yeah, let's just further back. Lars Kramer and Schumacher dropped away from the main grid, and that might affect OMB because obviously Schumacher needs to, generally is further up the grid than this, so it might take a little time for them to really put the move on, and it needs to do it soon because they're just losing time hand over fist, and Lars Kramer really not getting to grips with this track in the reverse style. And yeah, I think this is the biggest battle we're going to have on at the moment. I don't think anyone else is going to make any moves, and Schumacher really needs to do it sooner rather than later.
There you go, flies up the inside, which is a strange way of saying through Chapel, but makes it stick and has that place taken off VNT Lars Kramer down in 17th and 18th. So I think nice to see a good overtake there from Schumacher, and then he can try and claw his way back to his teammate now, but he's lost a bit of time. 1.8 now splits himself and his teammate, so a bit of work for Schumacher to do to try and catch up with OMB Ortiz in 16th.
And Kevin Zilberg doing it exactly where you said would be a good opportunity for drivers to do it, through Woodcourt and into Luffield up the inside, and Lars Kramer down to 19th place and languishing a little bit at the moment. Kevin Zinneberg, I think those hard compound tyres are going to start becoming a little bit more racy now, and could be into the pits. Fanna Spinoda jumps early. Interesting strategy now for some of these guys. This is going to be an interesting with Gabs. A 10-second time penalty for the VMV driver for going into the pits, and that's something else they've got to be wary of. Is the pit entry is well, it's new to them as well.
Right, it's downhill as well, Gareth. So they're obviously getting gravity's not helping them going down there. So it's something they've got to work on it in. So not so obviously a far longer exit to the pits rather than entry like we normally see. So yeah, it'd be really curious to see where these guys come out. Obviously, they're all at the back. We've got a bit of a gap here now. And what does this do to the brake dynamic here? Does this change everything? We'll have to wait and see. So right, so where are we? So Fanna Spinoza now comes out in 15th. Fair enough, behind his teammate in 14th. Lars having a bit of a nightmare at the moment, but on a set of cards, but does this trigger Silo? Silo's now got a 2.1 second lead over Monza. Keep an eye on these gaps as they progress around. They're just coming through cops now, Gareth, the first bunch who pitted. It is a long pit lane, isn't it? So we'll see what Silo and the rest of the guys do on the end of lap 9.
It's 28.7 seconds between Fanna Spinoda and Silo. Does Silo jump? Silo has jumped into the pit, so this is going to be how it... Well, this is going to be how it is. Fanna Spinoda needs a desperately good outlap here to get past and ahead of Silo through this, and they're coming through the loop into Village, and then Farm and Abbey to come for Fanna Spinoda. Where is this going to all lie? Surely it was getting very, very close. And there's the exit of the pit lane. There's Silo coming out of the pit lane. I think Fanna Spinoda... Well, Fanna Spinoda has to do a few extra corners. I think Fanna Spinoda's got this. I think the exit and the out lap has been absolutely incredible from Fanna Spinoda, but they do have Silo behind them, which, well, hasn't changed much, and we know Silo is a terrific competitor. So Silo will just wait in the wings and help their teammate get up and maybe attack Fanna Spinoda as well.
But what you have to think about, Gareth, is if Fanna Spinoda gets by his teammate, Lars could be a bit of a rolling roadblock here and slow down both the Shazoo drivers, which, again, I don't endorse blocking, but there may be some team tactics here from the VNT team with their recent performances trying to get back into things. So keep an eye on that potential strategy from the VNT team.
Yeah, let's see what will go on for it for the time being. Fanna Spinoda holding that 1.4 seconds to Silo at the moment. Pit stops then for nearly the rest of the grid. Lars Kramer is staying out. Schumacher is staying out as well. Kevin Zunneberg won't be coming in for a long time on those hards. Probably another 6 laps maybe for that. And Fanna Spinoda showcasing why they are as high as they are. They've just set the fastest lap of the race, but Silo is eking that time down now. It was up I think, at 1.7 seconds, now 1.3 seconds between the two. Monza fallen 2 seconds behind Tech Brutal, and Sieb and Giovanni all the way down to 11th place. They pitted they waited longer, didn't they? So that's my guess, way out the window. But Lars Kramer and Schumacher fighting away. Well, I say fighting away. They're not really. Schumacher's dropping a lot from Kevin Zunneberg, though. The straight line speed in Kevin right now, with those better compounder tyres, is really, really working for them.
Yeah, the gaps are only going up from Kevin and Schumacher. I think those mediums are coming to the end of their life. You can see the graining in the front right tyre on board with Schumacher. So definitely time for the pits for him. And like I said, it's now 2 seconds splitting. He's losing 10th after 10th by each corner gap. So I think Schumacher needs to come into the pit sooner rather than later. Lars looks to be staying out again. So guys, it could be Lars is going to be that rolling blue flag if he can be for his teammates. So what's the gap now as Fanny Spinoza goes by Schumacher in the pit lane? We should find out any second now. 6.8. I mean, can Lars hold those tyres long enough? We'll have to wait and see, Gareth.
We will indeed. They definitely need to do well, something to help Fannis Spinoda. Silo, though, is dropping again. 1.3. It was up to 1.3 and now it's 1.5. So I think Fannis Spinoda's got the pace exactly the same as Silo in race trim right now, unless Silo is just holding back and trying to ensure those tyres are racy and battling enough for the end of the Grand Prix so they can just swing on past Fannis Spinoda. Sorry.
Could well be. Yeah. I almost agree with that, Gareth. He's it's tricky, isn't it? I think, like I said, I think the pace is very similar. We saw that in the early stages of the Grand Prix. Yeah, Salo had the upper hand in quali, but Fannis Spinoda's race pace is really good. Just Giovanni and Justin dueling away. I think there was a move by Giovanni into Luffield in the background. But yeah, back to the fight for the lead. I think yeah, at the moment, Fannis Spinoda's got Silo's number. But it has come back to 1.3, Gareth, so it's not all over just yet.
Not yet.
Lars gets a penalty. Yeah. Yeah, not good.
Not ideal for Lars, and they didn't stay out through this. I thought they might stay out another lap, but maybe it was just too far gone. They're going to be really racy. Well, maybe they'll pick up pace. I'm not sure, but as Karim picks up a 3-second time penalty, that's something that we haven't really spoken about, have we? The penalty situation, or the possible penalty situation you can get at Silverstone. There's definitely Karim. They're now going to possibly drop a position or two in all this. Gabsa's going to drop 10 seconds, so that's going to put them possibly outside of the points. Which, obviously, if other drivers get penalties, it's not too much of a problem. But we're about halfway through this race, and it could cost them big time.
Oh, 100%. You can see how close the grid is. That 10 seconds really gonna count for something. As he tries to get past Justin here to match his teammate on the previous lap. But yeah, Gabster is gonna. It's not going to help his problems. Well, obviously Lars at the back of the grid, but another 10 seconds of that, really does add up, and you lose a heap of positions here in Silverstone, or Silverstone reverse. So we'll see how it all goes down later. They may decide to serve it later on, guys. You don't know, but because you do serve it, you're almost wasting more time because of how long this pit is. So maybe not worth doing and waiting till the end of the Grand Prix to serve it. So we'll see what they decide to do later on in the race. But he does look racy, Gabza, behind Justin. I'm trying to catch up his teammate in 8th place here. I don't think it's going to happen on this hanger straight. He's lost a little bit of time through Stowe, and not close enough on this occasion to attack Justin.
Yeah, at the present moment in time, Silo doesn't have an answer to Fannis Spinoda. We were wondering whether Fannis Spinoda had an answer to Silo at the beginning of this Grand Prix, but it feels like it's the other way round now. Silo, again, just struggling to get through to grips with it, unless they are just trying to ensure Tech just keeps ahead of Monza, because that gap from Monza to Tech Brutal was over 2 seconds. It's now pretty much 1 second between them, as we've just seen Luca and Ben swapping positions for the battle for P16. Schumacher and Lars Kramer well off this at the moment. OMB Ortiz up into 14th place, so the qualifying ban has they started 19th, so they got a lot of pressure on them to get some more points this evening, because both Shazoo drivers producing a good points haul, and OMB only having one driver in the points, and lowly points in that could be problematic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. We talk about how important it is, points in the 15th, but it's also important how both drivers do in this race. It's great if VNT win this, but then when the teammates end 20th, it's that doesn't add up, and you take more points for finishing second and third. So yeah, VNT, great if they do get the win this evening, but the fact that Shazoo have got third and fourth currently, obviously Kevin still leading the Grand Prix on the alternate strategy. Um, it doesn't mean much. It's a team game, this league, and it's not until you get to, well, I guess it would be RSC in Monza and RWO6 is the next two, drivers that are fairly close together. You've got VMV in 8th and 10th, they're close, but yeah, ultimately the drivers need to maybe work a bit better together. See Lars all the way down to 20th, and with that 10-second penalty, I can't see him unfortunately finishing anywhere but last season. There's got another move. Callum and Ben looks to be fighting away once again at the exit of Brooklyn. So it looks like you mentioned, the play to make moves here is between Woodcut and Luffield, with that long relative straight that you can get some power down on.
Yeah, that looks like where to do it. Where usually we would see drivers try do it through in the normal circuit down to Stowe. I think it's obviously the main places all changed as RWO6 official Sieb and Giovanni all trying to find a way past Monza at the moment. Monza's having a good race as it is. Kevin Zunneberg yet to pit in this Grand Prix, deciding to start on the hards. I wonder how quick they're going to be at the end of the Grand Prix. Obviously lighter cars and everything to take into account. And other drivers being on more worn, hard compounded tyres, but they're not going to have any DRS or anything to help propel the speed as Silo nearly breaks into the second marker of Fana Spinoda. Silo's turned up the heat a little bit through this, and are we going to see a battle for the net lead of this Grand Prix? Silo has got that 1 lap better tyre advantage as well.
He does. Yeah, I think maybe Fana Spinoda, I either made a mistake or maybe he's seized off the gas slightly. We've seen how quick he has been. He's got the current quickest lap time. As he gets towards the back of Kevin, he may get a bit of benefit from Kevin unless Kevin decides to pit on this occasion. Keep an eye on Kevin. He does. So Fana Spinoda's not going to get any benefit at all of that Red Bull. Sorry, the Alpine pitting on this occasion. I'm curious to see where he comes out. I think likely to come out the back. But like you already mentioned, Gareth, quicker tyres, lighter car, less fuel. So we'll see what happens with him. But now Silo has broken the DRS window, Gareth. He is now in a second of the driver ahead.
What can Silo do? Silo's left tech for dust a little bit, 2.6 seconds, and Silo finally finding a little bit more pace in this the second half of this Grand Prix. Lap 17 of 26, so 10 laps to go for this one, and a lot of pressure still sitting on both of these drivers' shoulders. If you said Silo for victory, currently not going to do that. But look at the different lines going into Luffield there. Both drivers doing something a little bit different. And I wonder if that's purposeful from Fana Spinoda to try and put Silo off, or vice versa, or if it is a mistake from one of those drivers.
Well, I just like in normal circumstances, Gareth, people take different lines through Luffield for various different reasons. There's another between Gareth, some side-by-side action actually between Justin and Giovanni. Still side by side. There's a bit of contact there, and that's Justin off the road onto the grass, Gareth. Lots of place to Gabza there in the background. There, a bit of contact on the exit of Aintree has cost Justin 2 places there, and now he's got Ryan for company, as is Kareem and Adrian. This little fight here, Gareth, could be spicing up here for the fight for P9, P10. It's all kicked off after that mistake from the contact between the McLaren and the Alpine.
Yeah, glad I went on board with that. I don't think Justin will be too happy with how that one panned down through Village. Or was it Farm? It was through Farm. Sorry. So
Sorry,
Ryan,
yes. Yeah. Sorry, I got the map wrong. Yeah, sorry. Apologies. Yeah, it was village and farm.
through yeah, so Ryan, I think Justin's made the time back up to the drivers just ahead. Ryan's dropped off again. Silo getting ever closer to the back of Fanna Spinoda. I wonder if this is going to be anything as they head towards Aintree. Is it going to? No, I don't think there's no DRS at this point. It feels like that DRS into there might be helpful for moves, but not on this occasion for them. The Silo again, very, very close to the back end. As Giovanni's lost ground to RW06 official, just teetering on the end of edge of DRS activation, as Luca and Callum are swapping positions for the fifth battle for 15, always side by side as they go through village. And I think Callum has the moves done and dusted. Will there be anything from Luca can do back? I don't think so. And into the pits is Ben.
Yeah, not sure why Ben's decided to come in. I think he moves the damage that front wing. Back at the top, Silo not close enough to make a move on this occasion. Adrian and Karim side by side go into the loop and the village there, but nothing worked out there. But Karim's a bit loose coming through Beckett's and Maggots here, so could allow Adrian. And there's a mistake from the Sauber, and he's around Gareth and into the I think he's still got his front wing here. Yes, he does, but a mistake at the exit of Maggots, and that's cost Karim a couple of places there and falling back towards his teammate, and now is behind Ortiz, who I'm sure is happy taking more points here. But yeah, mistakes are starting to happen here as we come to the later stages, and another move from Mattia there inside, and again snap of oversteer, just about to stay, keeps the car in the straight line and falls behind Callum. But it's all kicking off, and Gareth up front, there's a move for the lead as well.
This has been building for a little while. Silo tried into Luffield. It didn't work. Fanna Spinoda held and through Brooklands as well. But when they finally got to the loop and into Aintree, 10 seconds for Karim, and Karim out the race. Fanna Spinoda had to relinquish the position. Real good battling for the lead. And lap 20 of 26, these two finally getting the gloves off.
Yeah, but watch out for Silo here, closing, but not close enough to make the move back on Silo coming through Chapel, Beckett's and Maggots. And I think that may be his one and only opportunity, because we know how quick Silo is. And Fanna has been quick, but not close enough to make any moves throughout this Grand Prix. And it could be it for Fanna Spinoda, unless he's got something in the tank that we don't know about just yet. But keep an eye on the gap for the lead. But now down to 19 drivers left in this race. And guys, if you look at the mini map, how close everyone still is on circuit. It's great to see. But yeah, 6 laps remaining. Is this Silo's race to lose now?
Well, interestingly enough, with this battle between Fanna Spinoda and Silo, it's really allowed Tech Brutal to come back into it. The gap was over 2 seconds, over 3 seconds, I think, between the leading two and Tech. And now Tech is within a second of Fanna Spinoda. This could be a little bit of deployment, I suppose, from some Silo to... Because I would hate to be in Fanna Spinoda's shoes right now. You've got a Shazoo driver in front, a Shazoo driver behind, and you just feel like you're in some weird sandwich.
Yeah, especially when he hasn't got a teammate to help him out at all in this fight. Shows Fanna Spinoda is, like I said, feeling, being pressed on in front and behind. Tech's not too far away as, it gets a bit close again through Maggots. So Chapel, Beckett's and Maggots, but again, just not close enough on this occasion, unless he tries something through towards Woodcote and Luffield, but again, not close enough on this occasion, Gareth, to make a move for the lead.
I feel like this is where Silo managed to make the move work on Fanna Spinoda. I feel like Fanna Spinoda needs to do the same to Silo through this area, unsettle through Luffield and Brooklands to ensure that they've got a good run through Aintree in the loop and Village to get a move done. I think that's the only way Fanny Spinoda is going to get the lead back in this Grand Prix. But with Tech, Monza, Sieb, and just in the background, Justin and Giovanni having a few issues. It's RW06 official and Giovanni having a few issues, and Justin not able to get involved because he's just behind. But a little bit of contact between those two.
Yeah, on the exit. I think that's one of the main moves into the loop. You can really throw the car up the inside, disrupt the driver ahead of you. I think that's what's happened there. But look how close Giovanni is to the back of RW06 here. Could we see a move? Back stepped out slightly there, mid-corner, and that could be the reason he doesn't get by. Obviously, DRS ahead as well for RW06, and again, is not close enough, unfortunately. Unless he tries something audacious through these corners, I don't think we're going to see Giovanni get by out. But if you can stay pace with him through this section, we could see a move from him into Woodcote and Luffield here.
Yeah, let's stay on board with the battle for P6 because, well, Justin is right on the back of it as well and trying to go around the outside to switch to the inside is Giovanni to the inside of Woodcote and Luffield and has the move done for the time being. Trying to fight back is RW06 official, but it's not happening. And there is a position gain for the VMV driver back up to where they were at the start of the Grand Prix. And in the forefront there, you saw Tech defending valiantly from Monza. Monza throws it up at the inside at the loop. And is this going to unsettle Tech Brutal? It has done indeed, and Monza has the position gained, and Justin and RW06 official are squabbling away in the background. There's action now hitting all over the place. Lap 22 of 26, soon to be 23 of 26, 4 laps remaining, and there's more contact between RW6 official and Justin, and my goodness me, how that hasn't ended in disaster, I am not sure.
Yeah, a bit of wheel banging on the entry to club there, and I think that's disrupted them, and Justin gets through now. RW06 loses 2 places in as many corners, unfortunately, there. Now Justin can attack Giovanni once again, where obviously the incident he had a bit further a few laps ago, but it's getting tasty to near the the end of this Grand Prix. 3.5 laps remain here, and the battle, and again there's another Adrian and Gabza off the circuit. Puncture, front right puncture on hard compound tyres. Could this, Gareth, be what's to come for everybody else here?
Goodness me, as swapping positions, the two Ferrari drivers, maybe to try and get the gap back up as the yellow flag is flying vigorously for Gabza's car being a little bit, well, worse for wear right now. And yeah, you're right. Are we going to see some drivers have some real big problems? Maybe this is why Fanny Spinoda was going slowly, and maybe the other drivers wanted to go that extra lap as there's a swap of positions between Schumacher and Mattia Manga. Maybe I think Schumacher has the move stuck, but Gabza, well, I wonder what situation everyone else's tyres is on. It looks like Fanny Spinoda is struggling to keep up with Silo, which would indicate that maybe they're tyre saving.
Could well be. You can see on the front of some of the drivers there is a bit of graining, while others the tyres is a bit smoother when you're on board, Gareth. So it could well be tyre saving for Fanny Spinoda. 1.2 now split per second. Monza closing the gap down very quickly. The second place. Could Monza take that that place, that second place off them? Currently in third place, and that could be potentially a second place for him. Tech has slowed down as well, Gav. So yeah, I think but a few drivers are really struggling at the moment.
Monza having a tyre difference between the drivers around him. Fanny Spinoda and Tech and Sia, but all on 15 lap old tyres, which could indicate that Monza is well, made the right choice as Schumacher getting past Callum for... Oh, no, that's a car around. That's Schumacher around. I'm not sure what's happened there. I've gone on board and I just saw the Williams in actual disarray. There's, I think, a Ferrari with a puncture.
Ryan. Yeah, front right.
Oh, another front right puncture. Lap 25 of 26. We are in danger territory for a lot of these drivers right now.
Absolutely. I'm sure, just looking, Gareth, it's on board the Monza. I'm just looking at the standings as well. This could be RSC's first podium of the season. If things go their way, then it could get better. If if Monza can get by Fana Spinoza here with 3/10, wiggles the car there, off driver ahead, but look at the speed difference through Cops there. Fana Spinoza really struggling now, 3 seconds between himself and Silo. Silo's got this race wrapped up, and there is contact at the back of that Red Bull here through Luffield, through Brooklyn they go. Look at the queue behind Tech as well, Gareth. Sieb, and more yellow flags. Someone else has made a mistake. I think that's an Aston Martin of Luca.
Another front right puncture is all kicking off, and up the inside, a real dive from Giovanni on Sieb. There's contact galore, and Justin just behind waiting. There's still contact going on. A little bit more contact between Sieb. I think that was Justin hitting the back of Sieb there, and my goodness, it is on the final lap. You've rolled the dice if you want to go this long on those hard compounder tyres, and my goodness me, they've rolled the dice, and is that a problem for Sieb? No, I thought it may have been a puncture territory there, but it's not at the moment. Silo's in the distance by 4.3 seconds. Somehow, Fana Spinoza holds on from Monza as we go down the hangar straight for the last time.
This is all going to kick off now, guys. Look how close Monza is to the back of Fana Spinoza. Can't get through. No one can get through. More yellow flags through. I think that is someone else's mistake. I think it's still Luca maybe. Guys trying to claw his way back through, but there's side by side between Fana Spinoza. Still side by side, and Monza goes around the outside. Guys, what a move by Monza, and he now takes second place. But Fana Spinoza won't sit down. He flies up the inside. There's contact through Luffield. They go towards Brooklands. Who is going to take it here? The Mercedes got the inside line. Can Fana Spinoza hang it around the outside? Has he got the grip? Yes, he does, Gab. Still hold second place.
There's more problems. Gabs is the fastest man on the track, but more problems going through. What does Monza do? Darts up the inside through here. We're not going to see Silo cross the line. Giovanni and Tech Brutal are squabbling away. There's more contact between Fana Spinoza and Monza. It's all kicking off. Monza, I think, is going to have the position gain, but I don't think Fana Spinoza is going to leave this one going. My goodness me, what an end between those guys there. RW06 official crosses the line in 6th, 7th to Adrian, and there is more punctures going on through the field, I believe. Ortiz up into 8th place, and a puncture across the line for Sieb, but managing to get P10 in the end. Parked in a dangerous location. Justin being disqualified. What on earth is going on there? That's a puncture for Justin, and a puncture for Matteo Manga. Are they going to be able to hold on? Ryan it's close, is catching, but I don't think it's going to be quick enough. Oh, wow! What a way to finish there. And across the line, I think in the end from Kevin Zoderberg, there's a load of punctures happening towards the end of this one. Oh my goodness me! What a way to end the Grand Prix! But no puncture and no problem for Silo. What a race for them. Apparently Justin started their last lap on 97% tyre wear. Oh my goodness me.
Wow.
I think that is Luca coming across the line finally now. Ooh. How do we dissect this one, Ollie? Because that was a...
Yeah, that was some race, wasn't it? I think, I mean, near the end especially, it really did kick off, and Silo controlled that from start to finish, didn't he? Had a little bit of time when he was second, but ultimately he was the quicker driver when it came to it, and Oh yeah, I don't know how to describe these last sort of 3 or 4 laps. It was just intense with all the jeopardy of those front right punctures, guys. And we saw obviously quite a few. I didn't count how many, but at least 3 or 4 we had there. Dueling to the end, people slowing down because they want to get a puncture. It was non-stop, wasn't
Yeah, definitely non-stop. Driver of the day was given to Schumacher, but let's go down the order before we ask you that question. Silo from Monza and Fanny Spinoda were your top 3. Tech Brutal finished 4th, 5th to Giovanni, RW 6 official in 6th, 7th to Adrian, Ortiz in 8th, 9th to Callum, Sieb in 10th, Schumacher 11th, 12th to Ben, 13th for Lars, getting points in the end for VNT, 14th for Matteo Manga and Ryan counting out the top 15 with points. Then Kevin Zuderberg, Luca and Gabza out of the points, and no finishing for Karim and Justin for the disqualification there. Let's have... wow, yeah. Who are you going for driver of the day in this one?
I'm going to go with Monza in second, Gareth, just because it's the team's first podium of the season, and that's going to jump them up quite a few points ahead of. It could take them above TRT here. So yeah, that's that. I'm going to give Monza driver of the day this evening. Good performance and dueling to the very end and getting past Fanny Spinoza at the death.
I hate to burst your bubble, but they did get RSC did get a podium in round 2.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, if I misread standings, then I just they did. All right, well, I'm fucking idiot now. I misread the standings. Okay, well, I think I'm going to still give him Monza, Gareth, because I think it was a good performance by him, and dueling to the very end to get past Fanny Spinoza. So Monza gives I give him driver of the day.
Yeah, very, very good race from them. Anyone in the chat would like to throw their vote anyway, please let us know. We are just going to go have a quick look at the calendar because that's Silverstone done and dusted. And then we got another track which can be loved or hated, and that is Qatar. And you know what? There's, I think this is not a bad track, to be perfectly honest, because it can produce some really... I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Promising performances from people.
Yeah, I mean, it is ultimately it's quite a thin circuit, isn't it? The main overtaking opportunity is through the first or the straight and then turn 1, turn 2, but it is a very quick, fast circuit. You've got to be on it. Any mistake happening, and you're dropping out the train, aren't you? So it's going to be a quick race to say the least. Yeah, but it seems to be a favourite amongst drivers because how quick and how nice it flows. So we'll see how they go share next week.
Certainly will. I am just going to see if we are... Doesn't look like anyone is going to be joining us in the waiting room this week. So, yeah, I think that will be enough for us for now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. Ollie, final words from you on this one, please.
Yeah, great race. Let's not do Silverstone reverse again. I think I prefer the normal layout going forward. But ultimately, another great race. And yeah, drivers really pushed to the end, didn't they, with the tyres, but didn't work out for some. But yeah, another competitive race here in CSS. And yeah, let's look forward to next week at Qatar.
There we go. Another great race. And like Ollie said, Qatar next week, where we find out if Shazoo can continue being a, well, force to be reckoned with. But for now, from myself and Ollie from Competitive Speed Series this week, we would like to thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.